Okay, welcome back to Dina's Ink Inspirations. I wanted to play with some more Blue Night rubber stamps with their designer papers that they just came out with. This is the Day Sky 3 set. They have 4 different papers that were designed and created by myself. And then they have on the back of each one of them, they have a back image of kind of like a starry sky image. So you can use either side. What I wanted to do today is use this one. It's kind of a sunset. You could turn it either way, right? You could turn it with the sun at the bottom, or you could turn it with the sun at the top. What I did and what I want to try to create again is this little scene with the little dancing girl silhouettes. I think they're so cute. So I'll show you how I got this background mountain in here. It's actually not really hard to do at all. So this is a quick scene. It's pretty easy to do. We're going to use the Silhouette Rocks and Trees stamp. That's what we're going to start out with. And now, so since this paper is about the same size as the stamp, I can't really use my magnets to hold my paper down onto my stamp positioner. So what I'm going to do is use my handy Scotch tape. And it shouldn't be a problem at all. Mainly because when I stamped on this one, nothing really happened. Nothing showed through. It didn't give me a problem. I guess what I'm trying to say, it didn't give me a problem when I was trying to stamp the images. I think the paper is actually thick enough, so it shouldn't be a problem again to try it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this stamp. Okay, I'm going to ink it up really good with some VersaFine Clair Nocturne. And I do use my stamp positioner for a lot of these because I don't seem to be able to get a solid black image every time. I do sometimes, but not every time. So this way, it just leaves the option open for me to restamp it. See, I might need to re-ink my pad again too. I'm still going to do it again. I'd like to get a little bit more in the trees and in the rock. One of the things I will do sometimes, if I notice later that I didn't get enough coverage, I will use a paintbrush, and I'll use the VersaFine Clair with a paintbrush and fill in those areas. Okay, I could probably do it one more time, but I really don't mind a little bit in the rock. A little bit of that orange showing through. Just do one more real quick. Okay. Now, to get the mountains, let's see, to get these mountains and the trees, all I did was use this stamp. It's the Meadow and Mountain stamp set. And what I did is I just inked up this part right here the trees and the mountains. I didn't use the flowers, the rest of that. So let's see. Oh, also, I had stamped it on this piece of acetate, which if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I will do this so I can get my placement, my stamps. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. It just helps me get my stamp placed where I want the image to go. Okay, now I'm going to stamp with VersaFine Clair Morning Mist. And I'm only stamping the ink, or inking up on the top portion. And then if I do miss something, it's a really easy fix, because I can just come in with a gray pencil and fix anything that I missed. But I try not to do that. Okay. Well, you know, the other one, I liked my placement much better on the other one, because this right here was lower than those clouds in the design. So I do like the placement down lower better, but we'll work with this one and see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. Now to get these little girls. This is from the Silhouette Dancing Girls. They're so cute. And I want to use the two smaller ones. Okay. So let's go. Now this is where I also have a little caution when I'm trying to place my stamps in the right spot. Plus, I want to make sure I get them straight. I think I might have that down too far. But let's use my acetate here. And we'll just see. We'll see about the placement here. Because I do want her little foot on top of the rock. I don't yeah. I don't know. I mean, that would work, but I would still rather have her a teeny bit higher. Make sure she's straight. I want to try it one more time. Yeah, see, that's better. I like where her foot landed there better. Okay, so let's... She's so cute. I like the sentiment on this one too. Dance like no one is watching. Okay, now on this one, the first one I did, I also used the other little girl. But just for time, I think we'll just stop with her, with the first girl. I could always stamp her on there later, or just leave it with one. Okay, so now I got some colored pencils out. I wanted to fill in some of these areas in the mountain, and I'm wondering we could maybe use some white to lighten that across the top. I'm going to put it right next to it so you can see what I'm talking about. So, see, I like the way I had stamped this one lower. I like that better. But let's just see if we can't tone this out a little bit. I'm using a white Prismacolor pencil. Okay, that kind of blended it out some, didn't it? Okay. Let's go with some mineral orange. It's not really orange, but I'm not wanting to, I don't want it so bright. Like on this one, I felt like that was just a little too bright with one of the other colors I had used. And so let's go with something that's not so vibrant. I don't want all that vibrancy. I don't know, this may still be too vibrant. And all I'm doing is I'm just shading in some areas here. And I'm doing it really quick. I'm not trying to be super precise. But you can see where the artist has already got the shading in there for us. So I'm just going to follow what the artist has already done. I'm not going to take a lot of time with it, but just enough so you can get the idea. Just scribbling some lines in here to make it look a little bit like water, or an attempt to make it look a little bit like water. Okay, and now let's go to a little bit of Sunburst Yellow. I hope this wasn't the one that was so bright. I hope I didn't pull out the wrong one. Yeah, I think this is okay. As you can see, I'm not being real careful or anything. I'm just coloring away. I still wish I could have got that blended out a little lighter. Let's try again with a little more white. So all I'm trying to do is just getting a little bit of shading in there. Let's try a little bit of, this is burnt ochre. I Maybe this will help bring in some of this redness, or this darker color. Bring it down to some of the shadowy areas, maybe. Using a very, very light touch. Okay, I want to try to anchor these trees a little bit better. Let's try some 70% warm gray. And this right here, it's stamped out a teeny little bit of, let me show you. It's stamped out a little teeny bit of these little flowers right there. So I'm just going to fill that in. I can't even tell they were there. I probably could even go in with a little bit of black. So any of the coloring like this, you just keep working with it until you get it the way you like it. Use a little bit of the black and bring some of the shading up from the bottom of the trees. I've mentioned before, but see how far back I'm holding my pencil? If I hold it back further, it keeps me from pressing too hard and getting too heavy-handed. So, but I'm thinking the base of these trees would be lighter, darker than the top part. I'm trying to anchor these trees into the scene so they don't look like they're floating. This one, for some reason, this one seemed to anchor better. And I didn't even use black. I never can recreate something exactly like I did the first time. And it seems like no matter how many times I try. Okay. It's kind of got it anchored in there. And if you wanted, you could even go in here just along the very bottoms of these shadows. I won't spend a lot of time doing it, but you could go and add a little more shading in there. So I want to make it, put a few more lines in the water, make it look so like the water's not completely still. So you see I'm just scribbling lines. Could even make it a little darker down here, a little more shading along this line. which I didn't do in the first one, but you could even shade it darker over here. Get some darker colored pencils. Really just work with it how you like it. Okay, and then because there is some white, there is white up here and there is some white in the sky. We could even add a little bit of white in the water. Could even give it a little bit of white up here on the shoreline. Didn't do that in the first one either. See all the possibilities? You know how sometimes when the water hits the shoreline you can see the little waves. And then you could even come in with a white gel pen if you wanted to and add a few more. My gel pen, when it goes on top of the Prismacolor pencils, I guess because they're wax, it has a little bit more trouble it doesn't write as well. See, I didn't like that line, so I just scribbled it right out. But see, things like that, you could just mess around with it. I did go into her little dress a little bit, so I'm gonna get that out. Okay, so you get the idea. So a lot of fun with Blue Night rubber stamps. Trim it down. You could even add more highlights. You could add some more shading in the mountains if you wanted to. But that gives you the idea. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.